All right. I'm gonna go over 4 and 5 again because there was a lot of confusion about 5, and it deals with the wording of 5 and the wording of 4. So let's look at 4 again. 4 says if the power series, that thing right there, converges at x is equal to 7 and diverges at x is equal to 9, which of the following must be true? Now, here's the wording in terms of number 4. Number 4 says converges at x is equal to 7. We don't know if 7 is an endpoint or not, all right? But what we are going to do, though, is assume that 7 is an endpoint just for the sake of this problem here so that we could figure out what my radius of convergence is and then figure out my lower bound in terms of my IOC. So in this case, this means that my radius of convergence is 3, and that's going to give me 1. Now remember that we technically need to check for endpoints, but I can't really do that for 1 because I don't know what a sub n is. So I don't know if 1 is convergent or divergent. We just know that, hey, anything between 1 and 7, including 7, works. This, questionable. Now that's because we assumed that 7 was an endpoint. Now remember that 7 could be an interior point, which means that 4 could be, or I could go to 8 here, right? And then if I did 8, this would mean that my radius of convergence would be 4, which means that my lower bound or my lower IOC would be 0, and that would be from 0 to 8. But remember, I only know for a fact that 7 definitely converges, so that's why we're pretending that 7 is an endpoint, just so that I can look at my interior there. 1, questionable. But here's also the thing. It also tells me that we are divergent at 9. Now, once again, we don't know if 9 is an endpoint or not. So if we do pretend that 9 is an endpoint here, and 4 is my center, then we're going to pretend that -1, anything before -1 will diverge. But once again, like I said, we don't know if 9 is an endpoint or not, but we're just going to pretend that it is. So that's why here our answer was B, because we know for a fact that it definitely converges at 2 here. 1, questionable, but 2, it definitely falls inside my IOC, so 2 converges. Now, here's where things get a bit wonky here, because for number 5, it didn't tell you anything about divergence. It only told you that this conditionally converges at 5. Now, the only time where we conditionally converge is at an endpoint, which means that 5 is definitely an endpoint. So we know that for a fact. Now, if 5 is an endpoint, this means that we know for a fact, we know for sure that my radius of convergence is 4, which means that my bounds here, my lower bound in this case for my IOC, is going to be -3. Now, again, I don't know what the status of -3 is, right? But I know that it is either going to be convergent or divergent, but we know that my IOC is going to be between -3 and 5. Given that 5, we are inclusive because we can include that. 3, questionable. But notice how here we know for a fact, we definitely know that my ROC is 4. So anything that is not in between -3 and 5, in this case -4, is definitely divergent. So it's not D, all right? Now D would be a case if I didn't say that this converged conditionally. If I just said that it converges, then yeah, we'll probably need more information about the series. But since we know that it converges conditionally, that's definitely an endpoint. Our ROC is 4. Our lower IOC starts at -3, and then that's that. So pay attention to your wording. Converge conditionally means You have a definite endpoint.